Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to Sprint Series Night in America. In New England, we are here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. The 23rd race of the season in Wawa Sprint Series action here in 2023. And it's really the first time we've ever come here for the Cup Series and the Cup cars. Of course, the Rays Dies and Tubing 300 coming on Saturday. We have done a Dirt Deal National Series race here before, but I believe we've only done one race on this track prior to today. So Andrew, how do you think this thing's going to play out? This is the 2020 version of the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. First time we've ever used this version of the track for a race. We got ourselves Joe Rakowski starting on the pole position there for Rain Motorsports. That team has not gone the victory lane yet this season. Do you think we'll see any passes for the race lead? How do you think this one's going to play out here for 19 laps?
You know, AG, I honestly I don't have much insight to give on that. I'm going to be honest there because I personally have very little experience watching any kind of offline racing or even online for that matter at any version of New Hampshire. So I'm going to be very excited to watch and see, is the inside lane going to be dominant? Is it going to be more multi-groove? If it's multi-groove, then pretty much anything goes, and any one of these guys can win it, with it being a small field for the sprint. So I think we're going to be in for a good show. I'm hoping that we are, and ultimately we're just going to have some fun and see how it plays out. I am really intrigued to see what happens.
It's going to be a good one here from New Hampshire. We're excited for the Cup race on Saturday as well. Of course, with the way that's all been going over there, that's going to really shake things up in the chase standings over there. But hey, this race could shake some things up in the chase standings over here because you have Joe Rakowski and Cole Raymond on the front row. Rakowski comes in 6th in points, Cole Raymond 9th in points. So they're a little bit further behind. Sam Oskin is your points leader, won last week at Atlanta. He's got 9 points on the field right there, with Jim Vincent left 2nd in the standings. Skylar Taylor, they are 16 points behind. Then you got Avery Alford, 22 points behind. Trey Bartow, 28 behind. Joe Rakowski's 29 behind. You got Benny Moore, 31 behind. Philip Torres, 35 behind. Cole Raymond, 40 behind. And Bruno Diacomo, 43 behind. With 8 races until the championship is decided at the Darlington Raceway on Labor Day weekend. I actually will say this right now. The finale for the Wawa Sprint Series is actually going to be held on a Friday. So not on the normal Wednesday slot. Once we get to that, we'll let you guys know, but excited to see how this whole title race ends up shaking out after this one, because with this being a short track, a legal short track and a flat track, a track that is very difficult to pass, we're going to have to see if guys like Jim Vincent and Avery Alford can work their way from their relatively deep starting positions in this race and possibly gain some points on the guys who have had advantages. But it's Joe Rakowski and Cole Raymond on the front row right there. You got Skylar Taylor, great position for Skylar, and they've been very good on these short track type racetracks. Of course, they won Bristol, they won Martinsville, and they won North Wilkesboro. And this place is probably the biggest track that plays out like those two. So it's going to be interesting to see if that 45 can get that inside lane to work to their advantage. Philip Torres is 4th. You got Sam Oskin, our last winner, alongside Trey Bartow, Avery Alford, and Jim Vincent left there in row number 4. Bruno Diacomo, Benny Moore rounds out the top 10 for the chase drivers. And you got Angel Gutierrez once again in the 56. 02 machine. That is Roy Ribbleton, 78 machine, driven by Stephen Colon. You got the 05 of Dale Johnson II, Priya McShane in the 4, 33 machine there of Jason Luna. You know, Jason Luna. I said Jason Luna. Oh boy, you're going to be all over me for that one, Andrew. You had the 01 there of Angel Olvera, 60 machine there is Marcus Glitch in his first Wawa Sprint Series start. And then you got the 7 machine, driven by Noah Cars and Will Parrish in the 40. We'll go ahead and get these guys to roll off. It's Joe Rakowski on the pole position, looking to get Rain Motorsports their first win of the season. Alley's yet to go to victory lane as an owner this season, one of the 4 teams here in the Sprint Series that has yet to get a race victory. Andrew, do you think Joe's going to get it done in that 77, or will it be somebody else here getting it done at the Magic Mile?
You know what? I think this time I'm actually going to go ahead and say that 77 is going to hold on to this thing. Short tracks do tend to make it where track position and the inside lane are key real estate, so I'm going to put it on that 77, see what will happen there. But obviously, again, I'm not sure what to expect given a new track, and some unexpected things could happen. You never know.
we're just going to have to see if that 77 can hold on, lead every lap. It is possible, but I don't know. We got some strong drivers right around him. The Trinity River Racing cars are going to be quick. Cole Raymond and Skylar Taylor are going to be ones to watch. Philip Torrey is going to be a sneaky one to watch right there. And Ozkin, you can never count out Sam and Ozkin. Our points that are coming into this event. Here we go. Green flag is in the air. We're racing for the first time at New Hampshire here in the Wawa Sprint Series. And these corners are incredibly tight. You really have to check up going into them. We got some 3 wide in the back right there. 78, Stephen Colon there to the inside of Gutierrez and Roy Ribbleton, but up front, good run there for Joe Rakowski. Scalacello trying to work the outside lane right here, and there is some grip up there, as you will see, is Taylor fishtailing it off the corner right there in the 45, but it's Rutkowski getting lap number 1 in the 77.
I was thinking that that inside lane was going to be the place to be on the initial start, but now we'll see that 45. Oh boy.
And Taylor moving to the inside is back in there. Vincent left way up the racetrack. Got the first win of this chase at Chicagoland 2 weeks ago. Not a good starting position for him here at New Hampshire, but Skylar Taylor, they are just so hard to beat here on these types of tracks, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can, in fact, hold on, because here comes Ozkin in the 75, moving up to second. Rutkowski's going to fall back to third there. Here comes Cole Raymond, Avery Alford with a good run. When we were at Gateway about 6 weeks ago, Avery Alford went to victory lane. That is probably the closest track in comparison here to New Hampshire that we have on the schedule. And Alford did a great job there driving the 75 in that race. Got a good run there on Cole Raymond.
77 maybe trying to work that outside lane, but not really working for him too well. 45 starting to pull away a little bit for the time being. And I know this is a sprint, but you don't want to use up your stuff too early on here. 19 laps isn't chump change. You still got to make sure that you have a little bit for the final few laps, or else you're going to be swamped by some of these guys further back.
It's going to be interesting to see if Skylar Taylor does use up their stuff, and maybe Sam Ozkin has an opportunity here. I think this is one of those races you might see the 10 chase drivers finish ahead of the 10 drivers who signed up. But Vincent left, falling back in the 07. Not at all a good run here for the Titan Fury Racing Machine. And, I don't know, Drew Webb might be getting a little nervous right there watching this race because, 2 straight wins to open up the chase for Mr. Webb for Titan Fury Racing. Will he make it 3 in a row on Saturday? The Titan Fury guys are not doing too well in this race right now, and it's going to be interesting to see if Drew Webb can, in fact, make history on Saturday, and the race dives in Tubing 300. Cole Raymond battling for that last transfer spot with Avery Alford, and Philip Torrey's right in the middle of all this as well. Alford way up there. You see a lot of guys kind of overshoot these corners throughout the day and throughout Saturday's race as well, but Ozkin here closing in on Skylar Taylor. This is where it gets difficult to make a pass because you can be right up on somebody, and it's just so hard to find a line where the car in front of you does not have a disadvantage. We're going to see if Oz can get around this 45 of Skylar Taylor here.
Yeah, definitely getting closer, as you said, and then right there probably is a little jerk of the wheel to try to not get into the 45 and end up going a little bit higher than he wanted to. Going to fall back just a little bit here. But as you said, of course, there's transfer spots up for grabs here, so how much are you really willing to try and gun it for the race victory versus just kind of hanging out where you are because you know that you're going to get to race in the main one?
Of course, these guys all battling for a title, so they want to get as many points as they possibly can these next 8 races, including here today. So I think that's really what's on the forefront of most of these drivers' minds here, as we got a good run for Roy Ribbleton in this 02. These Triad cars are pretty quick, and neither of them have a full-time full-time driver in this chase. So, they're great cars to sign up for, I'll tell you that much right now. And Roy Ribbleton definitely looking to take this 02 maybe into the main show on Saturday. And Alford able to clear that 83. He's now looking on Rutkowski there for the 3rd position. Trying to get that inside lane to work to his advantage, but these 2 lanes are essentially equal here at New Hampshire. And it definitely makes some interesting racing here around this flat racetrack.
And Rutkowski is struggling here. He may have put everything they had into the qualifying setup, but now that thing is starting to struggle. Barely hanging on to third place here, probably going to probably fifth if this 83 is able to make that move, and is going to go for it, albeit almost get in the back of the 74. Holy smoly.
These guys are all losing time. 2.5 seconds off our race leader, Skylar Taylor, who's cruising away right now in that 45 machine, and then Ozkin looking to hold on to his points lead. Of course, Taylor's 16 behind, running third in the championship. If they continue this run, win this race, I would venture to say 5-point gap, I think. Yeah, 5 points on Sam and Ozkin right there, so it'll close into 11 points going into Pocono. Hey, Pocono next week. Finally in our home state. Finally in Wawa's home state next week. I'm excited for that one. Excited to actually be at Pocono, too. That'll be a lot of fun as Rutkowski now, he's gotten passed by Alfred. Cole Raymond here in the 83 machine. He's looking to take fourth away from this 77. And it's going to be tight right here, but I don't think Rutkowski's going to be able to transfer on. That 77 just doesn't quite have the speed that some of these other cars have.
Yeah, it's a bummer for Rutkowski there. I mean, it's clearly because I picked him, but otherwise, yeah, he's fallen back quite a bit here. And I mean, a lot of these guys are going to try to pounce, and that means that they're just getting closer and closer to trying to get into those transfer spots for themselves. But top two,
wow.
Yeah, pretty much in the league of their own. And goodbye.
We'll have to see. Ozkin may have an opportunity here. But I think these two guys are just so even here in this Sprint Series title race. See where this fastest lap currently sits, and right now Skylar's got it. And that's going to be huge at Pocono, getting that inside lane to start that race. They can hold on to it, of course, and a lot of it does depend on where you start for some of these races, considering just how short these races are and how well you finish, because if you don't get a good lap in the prior race, that could affect you for the next one, and I think that's definitely the case here at New Hampshire, but I feel like the cream has risen to the top for this race as well, because you got the two Appalachia cars and the two Trinity River Racing cars, and those two teams are 1-2 in the Owners' Championship coming into this race. So with that in mind, I definitely think, even though this is a difficult place to make a pass, in theory, the ratings have absolutely come into play here. And that's something to look forward to on Saturday. I think a lot of folks were a little concerned about Saturday's race maybe being a little bit boring, maybe? You know, who knows? We may see Chase Buck lead every single lap. It's very possible, but we're about to see our second lead change in this race right here. Ozkin is closing in on Taylor, and he's got 4 to go at the line right here to get to this 45 machine. Starting to lose a little bit of time. Alfred has cleared for third, but I think with all the ratings and how deep we are into the season and just how much of a differential there are between certain drivers, we're going to see ourselves a very fascinating and interesting race on Saturday in the Wawa Cup Series.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being a part of that. We'll see how things go down. But right now, ooh boy, this 75 is all over him at the moment. It's I don't know with how even these lanes are. Oh goodness.
Here we go, side by side, coming to 3 to go here at New Hampshire. I knew what I was doing when I put this track on the schedule, guys. Don't you worry. Sam and Ozkin trying to go 2 in a row. I know Skylar does not want him to do that, but I don't know. That 75, a really good drive off on the inside. They're still side by side here. Might close in Alfred here a little bit. I don't think Alfred's going to have enough time to really close in on these guys. And Skylar Taylor going to be able to hold that outside for now. Ozkin's back on the inside, and we're still side by side, coming to 2 laps to go here at New Hampshire.
Ooh, getting sideways off the corner there. 45 really dove it in on corner entry there into turn 3 and is clear once again. That is perfect and exactly what Skylar needs for the championship hunt right now, because there's a big time championship implications here as far as what's going to happen between these two.
Of course, every point matters. Ozkin's going to try it here. Taylor really getting the run on the outside, and here we go. White flag, and we're side by side here in New Hampshire. Who's going to get it done here in the Wawa Sprint Series? Ozkin led that lap. He's going to get a bonus point for that. Taylor trying to hold the outside. They're not going to be able to get it. Ozkin, once again, a late race pass here in the Wawa Sprint Series. Taylor's going to have one more chance right here. All they have to do is beat Ozkin at the line, but they're not going to do it. It's Sam and Ozkin going back-to-back here in the Wawa Sprint Series. How about that? Appalachia Motorsports bringing some quick cars here. We'll have to see if one of their guys gets it done on Saturday. It could be Ozkin or Alfred. Both the Appalachia cars, both the Trinity River Racing cars making it on to the Raised Dies and Tubing 300 on Saturday. Ozkin going to extend his points lead here in the Wawa Sprint Series. I don't know. It's looking pretty much over. I don't know what you think here, but Ozkin really pulling a gap in the points. Here's how they're going to line up at Pocono next Wednesday night. Skylar Taylor's got the pole alongside the 75 of Sam and Ozkin. And you got the 85 machine of Philip Torres. Avery Alford will start in the 4th position. Then you're going to have the 80 of Trey Bartow starting there in 5th. And let me just get it written down here, just so we get it right for when we do that race. Benny Moore will be in the 6th position. And let's see, who else have we got here? 83 of Cole Raymond, a little bit deeper there in the field. 00 of Bruno Diacomo will be 8th. Then you have the 07 of Jim Vincent starting 9th. He really fell off in this one. And then the 77 of Gerald Rakowski. He was the fastest of the chase drivers last week, the slowest of the chase drivers this week after starting on the pole. And he did not finish well either. And it was pretty obvious that the ratings absolutely came into effect here. And I think that's going to really affect the race that we see on Saturday. And Drew Webb's kind of been that guy over there in the Wawa Cup Series. I know you're racing in that race, Andrew. You're not in the chase, but do you really think that Drew Webb might have a chance of going 3 in a row, considering that the Titan Fury guys did not have good runs here in this race here today?
Oh boy! Well, if tonight showed us anything, it's that you got to have some good short track ratings here. Obviously, Rakowski kind of suffered from that. That inside lane, I think, seems like the better place to be overall. So if they're able to find themselves there, then they might be in pretty good shape. But overall, it's going to be a game of track position and working the lanes to your advantage. But obviously, as we saw with Skylar Taylor getting clear there for a little bit, that outside is definitely doable. So it's going to be a great race. I'm excited. And hey, we're going to have some fun.
Mm-hmm. We had 2 passes for the race lead here in this 19-lap race at New Hampshire. So, obviously we got ourselves a good racetrack. So we don't have to worry about Saturday's race being bad. It's going to be a solid race. 75 laps for the Raised Dies and Tubing 300. Sam and Ozkin, Skylar Taylor, Avery Alford, and Cole Raymond going to join those guys. And Ozkin looking for a full-time ride next year, I feel like, in the Wawa Cup Series. But hey, still 7 races left to go, and one of those races is Daytona with the penultimate race of the season. Anything can happen there. Anything can happen these next few races. Michigan's coming up, Indianapolis still on the schedule, Watkins Glen. I mean, some of our best races, best racetracks that we have on the schedule coming up here in the Wawa Sprint Series and the Wawa Cup Series, and excited to see how these last 2 months end up falling in place for all these drivers and how this championship's going to end up filing in both series. Congratulations to Sam and Ozkin for getting it done here in New Hampshire. Sign-ups for Pocono, for those of you who are not in the chase, going to be 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time right here on AG the channel. And we'll see you guys next week from the Pocono Raceway. That's going to be a good one from the Tricky Triangle in our home state. It's going to be a good one. Congratulations to Sam and Ozkin once again. That is Samet's 4th win of the season. And here are the point standings for the Wawa Sprint Series after 23 races. I will see you guys later.